Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Transformation Tuesday. I'm a bit late this morning because there has been sirens and alarms and lots of stuff happening around here today. I'm not sure what's going on, but it sounds pretty noisy outside. So if you hear them, ignore them. So today I'm talking about Hayley. So Hayley is a 35-year-old woman. She suffers from super high anxiety, low energy, reflux, and a really sluggish bowel. So Hayley has had reflux on and off since she was about 17. It presented as a burning in her chest. She said it often feels like something stuck and it's really heavy. So she used antacids for years and years and years, and with good results, but now they're not helping at all. She finds that as the day goes on, the reflux gets worse for her. She's got a postnasal drip that's always there. So she commented that she always feels like there's tension or heaviness in her gut. So part of this, I think, is she also has crippling anxiety. So she's getting help from a psychologist where she's enrolled in a program about social anxiety and all things like that. So most days she finds it really difficult to leave the house, almost agoraphobic-like. So her body is stuck in fight or flight. And I talk about this all the time. This is where you know, in past days, your body would make you look for danger all the time. And because we're so busy and we don't ever relax, we're in that state all the time. So this has set her nervous system on fight or flight continuously. And I see lots of people presenting with this sort of stuff. I've got a core group of 60-year-old women actually at the minute who have never taken any downtime for themselves. They've got, they've done everything for their families and now they're doing everything for their kids as well as managing a job and all those sorts of things. So it's really tricky for them to actually turn their nervous system off. And so the longer that happens and we don't take the time to slow down and stop going from one stress to the other and start taking care of ourselves, the harder it is, it'll all catch up with you in the end. So when our nervous system is stuck in the fight or flight response, we need to change our lifestyle considerably to help switch that nervous system off. It's just not going to turn itself off because that's its state of running now. It's so used to being there. So with Hayley, her anxiety really depleted her energy level, so much in fact that when I first saw her, the first time I met her, she said her energy level was a 4 out of 10. So that's pretty low. She was going to the bathroom every day, in fact twice per day, but she never ever felt finished. So she would say she constantly felt like she was full all the time. And so from her first visit, I sent her off for a referral to her doctor to get a few things checked. Her thyroid and iron, because both of these things can affect your anxiety level. I also got her to fill in the mood, poo and food diary for 3 days and bring that back as well. And you all know how much I love that. In terms of supplement wise, we started off really very basic. So a magnesium, which helps calm our nervous system as well as do a whole lot of other things in our body, and a herbal mix to help her relax. And to help her body deal with the anxiety that she was seeing, and also with the trying to get her out of that constant stress pattern. There are some beautiful adaptogen herbs that can help take that stress and just drop it straight down reasonably quickly actually. So I also got her to add chamomile tea to her daily routine, as it's a specific herb for generalized anxiety. It has amazing effects. So if you've got a little kid that's anxious, and I had teenagers that were anxious, so we would use a chamomile tea quite a lot. So it's a really good thing and it's easy enough to buy and get into your diet every day. So I also got her to practice belly breathing, where she could, when she could feel herself slipping into that anxiety, it just gave her some things to focus on rather than focusing on that anxiety. So on her return visit, Hayley said she felt like food was finally moving through her, and she put this down to feeling more relaxed. What she noticed was she was going to the bathroom, and she said for the first time in a long time, she actually felt like she was finishing. And again, she put this down to her nervous system. She felt really calm within herself. And she said her body wasn't holding as much tension as she felt it was normally. And this had a flow-on effect to her reflux. So she was no longer getting the pain or burning in her chest, and her energy levels had improved slightly. So she'd gone from a 4 out of 10 to a 5 out of 10, which is not too bad because it was only like 2 weeks in between. So she felt her mood had been a little better, but no real change. So we went through her diet, and one of the things we worked out eliminating on was dairy, to see if we could get rid of the postnasal drip, because I do see that a lot. Some people, and I'm one of those people, you're just more susceptible to dairy. So I could have, if I have a mouthful of, if my husband's eating ice cream, if I have a mouthful of ice cream, I'll go to bed of a night time and I'll actually feel like I'm choking from the dairy. It's like really mucus promoting for me. So some people it's a real problem. Not for everybody, but for some people it is. So I also got her to increase her fibre content. She was eating veg, but they were mostly the same ones over and over. And so we spiced that up a little bit, and her homework was for this session. She lived in a really beautiful space, so her homework for this session was to spend more time in nature. She could get out every day and go walking in nature. And this is something Hayley loved to do, but when her anxiety became too great for her, that was the first thing to go. She just stopped doing that altogether. So the next visit, her energy level went from a 5 to a 10 to a 9 out of 10. She was still having some down days, but she was getting much more consistent, and she felt her mood could derail it all. So when she became too anxious, if she caught it early, she could go for a walk, and that really helped. So if you have ever suffered any level of anxiety, you will know that it impacts your energy level. So the next time she came back, her reflux had completely gone. Her poo was now twice per day like clockwork, she claimed. She said she could almost set her watch by it, which is pretty fantastic. So it had become the perfect poo, essentially. So this was not the end of Hayley's journey, and as I saw her many more times for her anxiety and general health after that. But I guess what I wanted to point out, in the short time, I was rewarded to see such great results. So one of the reasons I think we got these results was Hayley was so committed to the process. She was ready to take charge of her health. She did everything that was asked of her, even though at times with her anxiety it was really, really hard. So her psychologist was also convinced that the herbs and magnesium were contributing factors to helping her with her anxiety. She was able to manage her life with anxiety rather than getting completely overwhelmed with the anxiety all the time. So when I talk about these clients, I want you to know the incredible amount of work that goes into getting these results from the client. And I'm not talking about the work that I do, because I don't really do that much. But what I'm talking about is the work from them. Hayley's a classic example of this. Her anxiety was so bad, she was agoraphobic. And so she really put in the work to get past this. She lived probably an hour and a half away from where I am, and she would come all that way, even on days when she felt that she couldn't do it. She managed to get here, so I was really proud of that for her. And it doesn't happen quickly, and it's not with a potion or pill to get these results. It's from doing that work every day, over and over, putting in the reps to get back to doing the things that she really loved to do. So it's not an easy thing for people to do. However, I see the people that I work with are committed to getting these results. So if you really want to make a dent in your health problems, you have to put in the work to get the results. So one of the things I would like to say to you, if you are struggling from any health problems, go to www.digestivedetective.com.au, is that right? Book in for a free 15-minute. This is not a hard sell to get you into a program or to do anything. It's to give you a couple of tools that you can do right now to actually change the way you feel. Because sometimes you need to get that real a bit of momentum. Once you get that bit of momentum, life becomes easy, and it's about taking that first step. I see so many women that come to me and that have had chronic diarrhea for 30 years or chronic constipation for 30 years. And they haven't taken that step. And now they're at the point where it really is impacting their life and they want to do stuff about it. The problem is, when you wait that long, there are not only psychological changes from that, but there are also physical changes. So it's really hard to redress a bowel after 30 years of chronic constipation, because things get really stretched. It's hard to get them to go back to where they were. So if this sounds like you and it's been ongoing, take some action and do something about it today. You don't want to get to 40, 50, 60, 70 and then still be dealing with something that you could have knocked on the head early in your life. So if that's the case, I'd love to see you and love to have a chat to you, and I'll see you next week. Talk to you then. Have a great day.